What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets. We're checking back in. We got our on the dot Genesis Scottish Open for 2023. And as always, I'm joined here with Teaser Nation. How are we feeling this evening, bud?
I'm doing good, man. Last week we had a close one, I guess. Both you and me, the guys didn't really do much on Sunday. I'm kind of over doing the whole Adam Schenk thing, man. Like he gets you so hyped until like Sunday and he doesn't do anything or doesn't do enough. But that was okay. I mean, I guess happy for Sepp. I mean, it was kind of out of nowhere. Like he was number one in our model that we pulled up, but it's just like just out of nowhere he'll play good. So I mean, that was a little surprise, but it was rough, watching Kirk, where we both had Chris Kirk. He kind of just faded as well, but he played a decent week. It was kind of underwhelming, I'll say, at the most, my card. So
Teaser texted me as soon as Kirk hit his first two birdies and was like, Kirk with the big eyes, and I was like, oh, are we going to do this? We might do this. And then Straka just would not stop birdieing. It was unbelievable. And to Teaser's point, he was number one in the model, and I also used Occupy Fantasy. Shout out to those guys for their model. And he was up there in theirs. And I'm sitting there like, man, I don't like this guy this week.
I know.
I X'd him out of my player pool. I had 0 Sepp Straka. And I'm like, I'm watching him on Sunday. Like, who is this guy? Was that Tiger Woods out there? Like, that was ridiculous with the putter. That was unbelievable. Crazy. And then he gave everybody a chance when he put in the water on 18. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. Come on, Todd or who was up there with him? Todd and Smalley, yeah, because I put an outright on Smalley in the Discord that Sunday morning. So man, a little bit of a sweat, but man, Sepp just took it away. But overall, I think I went down like 0.75 units. So it wasn't crazy of a week. Yeah. Just one you brush off and you get up right back on the horse, and that's what we'll do this evening. If this is your first time tuning in, appreciate that. If you guys are on Twitter, just simply hit that retweet button. If you guys are listening, it would show us a great deal of love there. And if you're on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as always, and feel free to join the Discord below in the description. So yeah, we will go over placements. We'll go over some DFS advice that we will go what we'll implement this week, and then some top stats, and then give out the outrights. So let's kick it to Teaser here. Let's go through the course, which they've played for a while now here. It's really, really dependent upon the weather, and we do have some weather to talk about. But Teaser, break down the course real quick for us.
Yeah, so this is probably more unfamiliar to everyone who's kind of watching, because it's in Scotland, obviously. So not a lot of people kind of heard about it, but it's called the Renaissance Club. I think it's going to be playing a little over 7,200 yards this week. Par 70. It's kind of a weird layout for a par 70, 3 par 5s, and 5 par 3s. Overview, it's, the link style course, which we'll be seeing this week and next week for the Open. That's kind of what it is, the European style of golf. So we'll see that the next 2 weeks. Really, the advantage this week is players who are good in windy conditions, aka like European players is really what it is, or like anyone from, I don't know, Australia, like anywhere besides the US, I guess. But I mean, they can still play in the wind, but it's more prevalent over there where they grew up. So essentially you need to be flighting the ball, using different trajectories into the green, kind of using different type of shots and things like that. Putting on large and slow greens, so you really have to think your shots out. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit of course history, because that's kind of all we have to really go off this week. Top 10 at this event at least one time, and it's, I think, 3 years they've used it. Min Woo, who we'll kind of talk about later. Andrew Putnam, which is kind of a surprise. Fitzpatrick, Xander, who won here last year. Fleetwood, and Thomas Dietrich, who's probably a lot of sleepers for everyone on Twitter this week. And then another one I kind of, scoped out this week was players with multiple top 40s in the last 3 years. So that's 2+ in the last 3. And that's Minwoo again, Fitzpatrick, JT, Tommy Fleetwood, Victor Perez, and Hatton. So there's a couple guys that, played well here at least 2 to 3 times in its 3-time history. Couple course comps. Royal St. George and St. Andrews. Those were the last two open courses. 2021, I think, was at Royal St. George, and St. Andrews was last year. It's just really, they're both links courses as well, kind of in that region where this one is. So it's cool to compare those. And then key stats this week, I didn't make a model.
No.
A couple if you want to do or make one. Stroke gained off the tee will be pretty good this week. Driving distance, I think, is what I read. Par 5 scoring. And then there's two. Usually they kind of like contradict each other, but birdies are better gain and bogey avoidance.
Yep.
Usually you pick one or the other, but I mean, this week you kind of need both with the wind, and you also do need to be making birdies. So that's really, course overview.
Yeah, a couple other stats. So I like total driving as my favorite one this week. It just kind of puts everything into perspective.
Yeah.
Instead of just looking at the distance, because I mean, you can get fairly lucky here. There's a wide range of outcomes off the tee, so you don't have to be particularly accurate. So driving distance obviously always helps, but I also want to see like strokes gained tee to green, who's doing well there. And then another one is scrambling for me, because if it is very windy, they're going to be scrambling all over the place, around the green, everything like that. So
yeah, that kind of scrambling bogey avoidance. Yeah,
it's the same.
Guys,
yep.
So.
Couple things with the weather. So I think anybody who's looked at it knows it's going to be very windy this week. And last year the winter was -7 Xander. A couple years past, it's been -11. It's been -18. We've seen it all, maybe even up in the 20s at some point. But I think this week is going to be a little bit more tamed down with the weather. You might see it, around that 8 to 10, maybe hit up there to that 12 range. So really guys that we were targeting, total driving, strokes gained, tee to green, and guys that can avoid the big number that'll get them out of the, maybe miss the cut here. So we'll go some top 40s and then top 20s. I don't know if you got top 40s this week at all.
I haven't thought of any yet, but I probably won't play any. I know that's more of your thing. So
yeah, so it's a very heavy field, but it's a wide open range of possibilities, I believe, this week. So if you are playing DFS, there I got probably 4 or 5 sleepers that I'm pretty dang sure of this week that I think can get up there for us, and maybe sneak out a top 10 where you cash pretty nicely. First one is Colin Tarrant. He's absolutely been tearing it up lately. Models that I've seen haven't really liked him too much, but I'm going to go on more recent form. And for DFS purposes, he is 6,500, coming in at under 5%. So he's one of my first top 40s that I got at plus 180. I'm only doing a half unit here, but like the way he's coming into this event. And one guy that I think I'm just trying to get ahead of, and that is Sahith Theegala. So he's at plus 120 for a top 40. I've been on him plenty of times trying to get maybe even outright top 20s, everything like that. I just think I'm going to get ahead of him this week. Nothing really pops out to me that says, oh, yeah, this is the week. It's just more of a gut feeling here. He is 10% owned, so I think a lot of other people are trying to get on him. But he's 80 to 1 to win. I'm not going to bet the outright, but I do believe he comes out here a little bit better off the tee. A little bit more wide range of possibilities off the tee. So like Theegala, and then McIntyre is the other one at plus 100, even money for the top 40. Loves this course. Always I'll probably be on him next week as well. It's just one of those times where you play Max Homa in Cali and you play McIntyre overseas. You just do it. Don't even think about it twice. Go ahead, throw him in the top 40. Throw him in your lineups. I want to say he is in the value range. Let's see where he's at. Yeah, he's in 11%. So, I mean, I'm taking 11% McIntyre at 7,400 over. Probably I'd pivot to McIntyre over Theegala for lineup purposes. Theegala, I just think is I'm trying to get ahead of McIntyre. I think is a pretty good set in stone top 40 piece for you, and then a DFS value pick for you for sure. What do you got for you got top 20s?
Yeah, I can give them real quick. I think right now I have 4. I think I'll make one a free play. But so for my first one, my top 20 I'll start with is Tommy Fleetwood. I think I got plus 120 on DraftKings. So really the main thing I'm looking at is the course history. He was tied fourth here last year. He's also been playing pretty well this year. I think recent form. I mean, he's had a tied fifth U.S. Open, second place at the
Who'd you say?
Open. Tommy Fleetwood.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So second at Canadian Open, fifth U.S. Open, fifth Wells Fargo, 18th PGA Championship. So, I mean, really, he's one of those guys. He's kind of more of like the grinded guy instead of, birdie fest, just based off of this year's, outcome. So with the wind and everything, he's one of those guys you can really count on, just to flight his wedges, flight his irons. So, he's used to playing that in the England wind. So that's my first top 20. I think he can cash that with pretty easy. I'm not trusting him with an outright, so I'll always go to top 20.
He definitely someone that pops out to me this week. I wanted to take his top 20. I ended up going a step further, and I'll say that later in the show. But one of those guys that it's a windy course, overseas, coastal course, whatever it is, he's one of the top guys that I think of. And has a great course history here. Lost in a playoff to Rye, I think a couple years ago. I think he can definitely compete this year. So, yeah, give me some Tommy Fleetwood for sure. DFS-wise, I think he's pretty up there. He's 15%, so not crazy, but he is priced accordingly, 9,400. He'll be definitely a part of my player pool. So I'll give out my first one. And speaking of windy courses, Shane Lowry is, the number one guy that I probably think of when a tough course comes along. Windy conditions, any type of duress, stress, anything like that for him. I like him to compete. Not necessarily, I could definitely see him winning, and models that I've seen have him priced accordingly up there. Still sub 10%, which I think will get steamed a little bit more tonight. He hasn't really performed great at these tournaments. So he's more, I don't know. I hope he's not getting ready for next week or whatnot. But I do like Shane. I'll probably be on him next week as well. But plus 140 here. I can't complain with that price tag for a top 20.
Yeah, no, I like him. I'll kind of mention him later on, maybe an outright. So my other one, I'll just kind of rattle these three off. There's not too much, research behind them. Minwoo Lee at plus 200. This one's really based off course history. And another guy.
I've seen a lot of Minwoo this week. A lot of Minwoo.
Yeah,
for good measure.
Yeah, he obviously won here before. I think last year he got a tied 10. So, he's one of those guys too who, he uses stingers, flights the ball, stuff like that. He plays well in wind as well. And then my last two, Aaron Rye, I think I had him here last year. I actually just looked at my card last year, and he didn't play well, but plus 280. He's also won here as well. He's another guy who's from England. That's really the story of the week is guys from England that can play in the wind. He's one of those. He's really good in the wind, so plus 280 I think is great value on him. And then I'm between two guys right now. I'll just say both of them. I haven't made up my mind. Ryan Fox plus 260. He always seems to show up in big-time majors when he comes over and plays on the PGA Tour and shows up in the European Tour all the time. So this is a course for him, definitely. I think he's pretty familiar with it. And then this is kind of like maybe a sleeper, I guess, is Alex Smalley from last week. I just looked him up. So he's 3-1, top 20.
Yep.
Don't know which one I'll do yet, but just to read a few stats for him. This is really based off his approach game as of late. He gained 8 strokes last week at the John Deere. Obviously, there was no win there, but his Rocket Mortgage, he also gained 8. At the Travelers, he gained 6. RBC Canadian, he gained 3. So this guy's coming in hot with the irons. Sometimes I'll kind of look at that with players where if there's value in 3-1. So this guy's striking it really well coming in. So seems like he's pretty confident. Had a good showing last week. Obviously, he came in second, but probably should have won that. But no, he's playing good. You kind of want to look for guys who are striking it well coming into windy conditions. So I think he also had a top 20 here last year. So that might round out the top 20s for me. We'll see which one I take.
I feel you. No, Smalley was one guy, man, I should have been on last week pre-tournament.
I know. Yeah.
It was one that I didn't even mention to anybody. It was just like a name that just stuck out to me. And I played him a little bit in DFS. Didn't have him in any of the great lineups that I had. But man, and then I said it in the Discord on Sunday. I was like, I gotta do something because he's just screaming at me.
Right.
For whatever reason, Sep just went off. So, but I do like him to carry it over this week for Smalley for sure. The next top 20 I got, you think of Links Course, you think of the Open. This guy absolutely balls out on Links courses, and that's Jordan Spieth. Just don't even think about it. Take him top 20. I'm not going to say he's going to win it, but man, top 20 seems pretty easy money here for plus 130. I'm just looking at his Open track record, and last 5 years he's gotten top 20s.
Yeah, and I've seen him a lot this week too.
4 of the 5, it's top 10s. I mean, you think of a Links course, he fits it incredibly well. Last year he got 10th here as well. So just screams, go ahead and put him in your lineups. He might be an anchor for me and build around him. Several different types of lineups for Spieth. Then you have my last top 20 guy that's played exceptionally well on tour this year. It's kind of had a little breakout, and that is Wyndham Clark. And I really like him because of his total driving stats. I really like him. His putter has been absolutely phenomenal. And the prototypical golfer that you want here, someone who can drive it and someone who can putt it. And, man, he's got it all. Plus 125. He's priced ahead of Spieth. I think he's getting steamed in the betting markets for good measure. I still see this as pretty good value here at top 20. Not going to go the full outright, but man, Wyndham Clark screams to me this week as well. All right. So let's go. Let's pivot to DFS real quick. So there's about 3 or 4 golfers that are 20% owned, and you got to decide what you're going to do here, if you're going to fade, if you're going to ride with them. Fowler is the number one guy this week at 25%, obviously coming off of his win and his popularity. That makes a lot of sense. Will I chase it? No. Will he be a part of my player pool? Yes. So what does that mean? I'll probably be, instead of being 25%, I'll have him in probably 10 to 15%, just to get a little bit under the field on him. But then if he does do well, I'm not absolutely crushed. And hopefully I have the right guys around him. Rory, again, man, I'm talking pre-stream, and I'm like, I swear he should win this. He should easily win this. But he should also win every golf tournament that he plays in, because when he plays absolutely the best, he's one of the best in the game, if not the best if he's on. So Rory at 20% at 10.9. I'm just probably going to fade a little bit. I'm not going to fade completely, but I'm going to be under the field on him. Aberg at 20% at 8.9 or 8.2 on DraftKings. Just no thanks to me. That's a guy did well like two times in a row, and now he's getting steamed. Nothing that kind of pops to me. I'm not going to go ahead with that. Then the other guy is Cantlay at about 20%. So I was just talking pre-stream. I'm like, man, I do like Cantlay this week, but it's hard for me to take Cantlay every single dang week. So he's going to be in my player pool. I'll probably match the field here at 20. He's at 10.2, so he's one of the lower ranged, elite golfers up there. So in that upper tier. So give me probably match the field on Cantlay. Then to round those guys out, you got Scheffler, Hovland, and Hatton. And out of those 3, I'd probably favor Hatton. Scheffler is just too expensive. He's 11.6. If you're going to play him, match him with like 2 of these sleepers that I'll throw at you, and you're going to do a stars and scrub and hope that those scrubs end up doing well. But Scheffler at 11.6 is very tough.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So those are probably those are the chalkiest of the chalk up there, about 17 to 18% and above. What I'm going to do with those guys. If you guys have any other questions of who you like in your player pool, maybe you're up and down between who you guys think. Another way you can kind of determine your last 1 or 2 guys with the win. There's supposed to be a little bit of a pocket on Friday where it's not as windy Friday morning. So you could potentially go PM, AM, wave advantage slightly. I don't think it's tremendous, but definitely could go into some type of deciding factor between one or two guys. And we got a question here from Dr. Tequila. It says fading Fowler this week. Not particularly fading him, but he's not on my betting card. Don't like the value I'm getting there because everybody's playing him, and then he's the top rated 25% owned golfer. I'm gonna be under the field. I'm gonna probably be 10 to 15% in my player pool on him. What would you do, Teaser?
I don't. It's hard to fade him. Like I wouldn't say fade's like the right word. I don't know. Like he never seems to make my card. I don't even know what his top 20. I'm sure he's like minus. So I mean, you can't really bet him this week. I don't think he's gonna win. Obviously, maybe a top 10 if you wanted, or I probably would look into the tournament matchups to see who he's matched up against. At this point, after his win, it's kind of hard to take him, like betting wise. I don't see him winning again this year, but I could be wrong. So
yeah, he's minus 105 on top 20. Yeah. Minus 105.
Yeah, that's tough to take at the link square. I'm not a big fan of the minuses unless like a stud's like minus one. Like if Cantley this week's like minus 105, I would do that. I don't think of Fowler I would. So yeah, I mean, I guess T10 or outright would be the only things, but.
Yeah, Fowler was nice to play whenever like he didn't have that win, and you could say, "Oh, he's had this many top 10s, this many top 20s in a row, and you're still getting this value." Now it's like
no value.
No, there's absolutely no value. So a lot of people chase that steam. I think we're out on that on the betting markets. I'm fading under the field technically with Fowler this week. So good question there. But yeah, because it is tough to know what the heck to do with Fowler after he absolutely torches, and gets. And he's been playing exceptionally well. I'm not gonna hate on that guy for anything like that. All right, so some value, guys. If you guys want some value in DFS, Tom Kim. Don't forget that this was Tom Kim's breakout of the season last year, and he fits this course pretty well. He finished third here. I know he's been playing horrendous this year. I think he might truly be hurt, but maybe something he's figured out after a little bit of break here that he gets some value at 8.5. He's at 7%. Two guys that are right at the chalk, Fleetwood and Connors. I like Fleetwood. I'll probably be over the field to Connors. I wish Connor was like half of his ownership, and then I would double it.
Yeah,
but I can't match the field at Corey Connors 14%. I just can't do it. So I'll probably fade him. Lowry, Clark, and Spieth all coming in right under 10%. Double the field on all three of them. Obviously, those are top 20s for me. Really, really like those three. And then Noren, Fox, and McIntyre are the other three that are right at 9, anywhere between 6 to 9%. So they're on the low range of value, but man, I like the way those three are playing and like the way that those three play these types of courses. So give me some of those guys. Obviously, I'm on McIntyre for the top 40 at plus 100. And then you got any sleepers you've been eyeing for
a couple that I've
for top 40? Is it all or for sleeper for DFS? I got a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say a couple of sleepers. Thomas Dietrich's one.
He's played well.
He doesn't really play well on the PGA Tour, but around European, and this course he should play well. That's one guy. You mentioned Big Bob already, Rob. He's probably one. I know I had one more. I can't find him right now. I guess Putnam's like a very big sleeper. For some reason, he's played well here before. It's weird. He only plays well in California, so I guess that's kind of honestly, there's a little bit of a correlation.
Coastal venues,
yeah, coastal venues. So I mean, you saw Xander win from California here. Cantley should play well here. I don't know about Homa. He's a question mark. I think his game's not where it's at right now. So
I was just gonna ask you what the hell you're gonna do with Homa.
Yeah, I was close to taking him outright, but I got persuaded off of him by somebody. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. But
I looked at my card last year, and he was on there, and I almost threw up in my mouth.
It's tough where he's at, right? Him and JT are hard to. I mean, Homa's in definitely a lot better position than JT, I think, game wise, but he's not clicking like as we saw the first couple months of the year. So it's just tough to play him. Big sleeper I talked about was Victor Perez, and then that's really it. Maybe like Guido Migliosi, what big sleeper, but
Wow.
it's. If anything, if you want to take a sleeper, just take like a European, honestly. So
yeah, the is it Hojgaard? Those two twins,
Hogard, yeah,
Hogard, yeah. Those guys are definitely in the player pool for me. Cam Davis is a sleeper at 5% owned, 7.3. You got Putnam at 7.3 at 5%.
Yep.
Then you have that Caleb Tarrant. He's coming in at 6.5. Like I said earlier in the show, he's going to free up a lot. So if you're going to probably play Scotty, he's one of those guys that I'd probably target into that lineup at 3%. And then the infamous Kitayama, where it does not matter off the tee how accurate you are. He's one of those guys that I'll probably throw in one or two of my lineups, maybe two. But
he came in second last year.
Yeah, I mean he there's no penalty really for having a bad tee shot, and he's one of those guys that benefits off of that. So, couple other guys that we haven't mentioned yet. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler. Plus 600, obviously in the betting market, not going to play him there, and 11.6. So I'm not technically fading Scheffler. Once again, I'm kind of treating him. He's 18%. I might have him in 5 to 10%. And if that's the case, I might even just see what one of those or two of those lineups look like, and then see if I even like it. And I might just take him out. But it's again, I'm gonna Scotty will be top 5, and I just don't like it.
No, yeah, I mean it's really hard to take him at this point. He's gonna be top 10 either way. So.
Yep. I was going to go to Homa, but you got them. Then you have Justin Rose, who plays pretty well here. The Sam Burns. You got.
Seen a lot of Sam Burns. I don't know why.
He's got some good course history.
Yeah, that's really it. But
that's about it. Yeah. Everyone else we've somewhat touched upon. So let us know in the comments if there is another person that you guys are leaning on putting them in your player pool or betting on. Let us know. But I will give it to Teaser, finish off the show with his first outright.
Yeah. I think we talked about him a little before, but my first outright is going to be Terrell Hatton, 25 to 1. Course history, 24th here last year. I think he played well on approach, so his irons were good. Recent form, he's one of the hottest guys this year, really 6 top 20s in his last 7 starts. So coming in with good recent form. Obviously, he's a course fit. I think he's going to play well. So it's just a matter of if he can kind of put it all together. Obviously, he won in 2020, but it's tough for him to, close. Really, we've seen him on a Sundays this year, and he doesn't do enough or kind of just falls apart, really. So hopefully he can just kind of get it together. And then I'll do my second one because I have 4. This kind of goes along with Hatton. Matt Fitzpatrick at 25 to 1 as well. Yep. Course history, he had a top 10 here last year. I think he gained almost 3 strokes in total, which is really good. He's been kind of inconsistent this year. He had that win at RBC. I think obviously he was hurt in the first part of the year, but he's kind of coming along strong. So he's another guy, plays well in the win. He's from that area or from around, that area. So always good to, have him in one of these major type events.
And then I will go with my first outright. And we talked about him a little bit. I think you might have mentioned him, Ryan Fox, and 65 to 1, putting 0.15 units on him. Pretty good track record at the Open. I know he missed a cut in 22, but then he's got a 39th, a 16th, and a 67th there. And he's played this course a couple times as well. Just a guy, he got 47th here last year. A guy that I think excels here and plays a little bit better than he does more on other aspects of the tour. 65-1. This was a numbers game to me. I was looking at his top 40 and it was like minus 115. I'm like,
Yeah. Yep.
That I was on. I think that was like Smalley last week, or somebody jumped out, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do it. And then this week I'm doing it. I'm saying, okay, so they're hitting him hard to go top 40, but man, I think he's got some steam to get up there. And 65-1 is a pretty good number here for Ryan Fox. I'll take my chances. If you want to play a little bit safer, you can go top 20. I think, what was that? Top 20, 260?
I believe so. Yeah, 260.
260. But yeah, Fox 65-1, worth a sprinkle there, a 0.15 units. And I'll get it to my second one. A guy that I'm double dipping. He's the cover boy, and it's going to be Shane Lowry once again. Discussed him earlier. I'm going to do 35-1 here. I'm hoping that he gets off to a great start, and I think he can this weekend. But yeah, a guy that I'm always targeting in the win, overseas, in tough conditions. Just smells Shane Lowry. It's probably boring, but I don't care. Let's go. And I think 35-1 is a pretty accurate number. I thought he was going to be a little bit less, but then I saw the field and I was like, okay, I'm going to get some pretty good value on Shane. So yeah, go ahead with yours.
I mean, yeah, my last two, you just talked about him. I had Shane Lowry. I shopped around a little bit. So I got 40 on one site. 40. It's going to be around 35 to 40. So
yep.
Not a big difference. I mean, it's a little bit, but yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it. It's just really a matter of the putter with him. He's really bad with the putter. It's pretty ridiculous. Looking at his stats this year, it really is. So it seems like every time I'm on him, he'll go like 6 under the first day and then, just be bad with the putter the last 3. So we'll see if, kind of, I wouldn't say it like minimizes it fully, the putter this week, but I don't think you need to rely on it too much. So that's good. Like you said, it's more of the wind factor. So, And then my last one, this guy kind of seems like he's been in contention a lot this year. He's playing pretty good golf, like under the radar, and that's Adam Scott. I got 50-1. He hasn't really put it all together and got a win this year, but like I said, he's been in contention a lot. So hopefully, he keeps playing well. He's been great off the tee for, how many years now. He has a pure swing, obviously he's going to find the fairways. He also does play well in the wind. So I look for him to contend as well. And hopefully, and this is like a tournament we've seen the last 3 years. Xander was a favorite, but Aaron Rye and Min Woo's won. So it's not like you're going to have, like, obviously Scheffler obviously can very well easily win, but it's not like this is one where a favorite's guaranteed to win like we've seen all year. So I think there will be one of those not random, but more mid-tier guys, European guys who could come out and win this week. So
yeah, because the factor is always, okay, are they getting ready for next week, or they're going to try to get get the major next week? It's just always tough on these elite guys. So my last one, guy that we've talked about numerous times, especially teaser, we're going to go Tommy Fleetwood. Another boring number, but I'm gonna again, I'm gonna take his plus 300 on DK. So I got it 25-1 here. A guy that just plays the Open very well, the Scottish Open pretty well. These types of golf courses very well. Last 19th he got 2nd, 33rd, and then 4th at the Open. And before that, obviously the week before that, he got 4th, and then he's lost in a playoff a couple years ago here. Just a guy that obviously screams to me, links courses, tough conditions, windy. I think if you took a shot every time we said windy or tough, you would be very drunk at the end of this at the end of this stream. But it's really that's what it's going to be this weekend. So you got to target. The weather is a main factor, obviously, on these courses. That's the only factor that makes these courses any difficult. Otherwise, everybody shoots -20. So I think this will be an interesting weekend, and I'm excited to look forward to. Any final thoughts, Teaser?
No, if you want to watch some golf, you got to wake up early this week. But I'll probably just wake up normal time, and hopefully be happy waking up to some guys who've already finished their round. So we'll see how it works. Like we said, just just really kind of keep it light going into a major weekend. It's really hard to predict this one. It's really all we have is course history, so it's tough. So well, hopefully we have a good week. And you get another outright. We've been a little cold the past couple of weeks. We've been right there too. So
Yeah, I know.
not like we've had guys missing the cuts. They just haven't really finished the job on Sunday. So hopefully they can this week for us.
Yeah, that 4:30 wake up call isn't going to be as bad to go work out when I got some golf to sweat out. So it'll be good. It'll be nice to get up Thursday and Friday around 4:30, 5 o'clock and hit a workout.
Definitely not on the weekend though. No shot. I'm getting up at Saturday at 5.
I don't know. Maybe
they'll push it back a little. Yeah.
Maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I'm a big get up early guy. I don't know why. I absolutely enjoy it.
Not me.
But and then I don't even go to sleep until about 11. So it doesn't make any sense because it's like I just don't like sleep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, so we'll get up on out of here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We got the final major next week, same time, same place. And then we will not teaser. I'm actually bringing in Sidekick again, where you're going to go over our NFL preseason podcast / live streams that we'll give out to you guys. We're going to start that on Monday. So look out for those. They'll be on YouTube. They'll be on Spotify, all types of different stuff for you guys coming up here as we hit the fall stretch. But let's get an outright here at the Scottish Open. Appreciate you guys tuning in. See you guys.